Restaurators with an eye-popping new eatery.
We are providing you the best experience, a novel experience of dining within a double-decker.
They're running a double-decker food bus in Delhi.
That was just till the ideation. Then when the whole process started, then the nightmare started, and it took us almost a year to get the basic structure going.
NewsX India A-list proudly recognizes Arushi Singh and Tejas Singh for excellence in F&B entrepreneurship.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX India A-list. My name is Gauri Kundalia. Joining us now, two very special guests. We have with us Tejas Singh and Arushi Singh. They are the co-founders of Food Bus of India, and they will be talking about their very special venture. Arushi, let me begin with you first. Tell us a bit about what the Food Bus of India is. Everybody's talking about it. It's all over social media. Tell us exactly what is going on.
Thank you for having us, first of all. So basically, Food Bus of India, as the name suggests, it's a very novel concept that we brought in to Delhi, India. And basically, we are providing you the best experience, a novel experience of dining within a double-decker.
Okay.
So, yeah.
How does that work? Where do we find you guys? Where are you based on?
Our flagship bus is placed at Rajendra Place, right outside gate number 2, metro station gate number 2. And you can see it's bright, it's big. It's static. It doesn't move around. It's static, but it gives you the whole experience of being in that London double-decker.
All right, Tejas, you're one of the co-founders of this project with your sister Arushi. Tell us a bit about how did this strike you? Were you in London one day and you thought that, oh, this is something we can do in Delhi? How did this idea come about?
Actually, I wasn't in London, but in Delhi, we guys always go out to eat. Every weekend, we guys go out to eat at a fancy restaurant. And me being an architect by profession, we always check out the interior, the food, everything, and try to analyze how much effort the person put in into setting up his restaurant. And then in Delhi, we saw that most of the restaurants were getting shut or having trouble keeping up because of all the initial investment that they put into the space, creating the space, paying the rents, purchasing the space and everything. So the basic model started in our head where we thought of a way to try and overcome these hurdles, to try and launch something that is not bound by these things that all the other restaurants are, bound by a space or bound by all the work that you get done in the space. And then if you have to move out, then you have to start all over again. So that's where the whole concept started, that we should create like a temporary structure that we can move around. And what better than a bus? And then we have a co-founder with us, and his son was actually studying in London. And then when both of us got together, then he came up with the idea that maybe we can make a double-decker bus. And it all just fit together in because of the 2 floors layout. The kitchen can be niche and the sitting can be upper. So it all worked out very smoothly. But that was just till the ideation. Then when the whole process started, then the nightmare started. And it took us almost a year to get the basic structure going.
So speaking of nightmares, let's delve into that a little bit, because that means that you guys ideated this in the middle of the pandemic. Well, that was very brave, because we've been profiling so many people from the F&B industry, and they've been having a hard time in the last, let's say, 1.5 years. What were the challenges like? Does COVID bother you? Technically, we're still in a pandemic. So is that a lingering thought? What will you do if things go back into, let's say, a lockdown, fingers crossed? What were the challenges like?
See, transportation was a major challenge because we created the bus at an off-site location somewhere close to Delhi, and we had to regularly go there to check the progress. It was a major challenge. And since most of the labor was also unavailable during those times, so it added a lot to our time frame and to the whole economic model that we had set up. That was a major challenge that we faced. Yes, even today, with COVID slowly clearing up, we can see that the response is getting a little better, but people are still a little wary of going into a space. But what we are trying to achieve is we're providing them with a safer experience than eating on the street. We try to get them into a better, clean environment with an air-conditioned environment where we can control the parameters, so they don't have to be exposed to the weather and directly exposed to the virus in an outdoor situation.
Right, Arushi, there's a thread that I'd like to pick on. They just mentioned it, is actually putting this bus together. How was that experience like? How did you manage to put a double-decker bus together in Delhi? Because we don't see them very often anymore.
Right. So, how we began the concept was actually it was driven by this fascination to bring something that the people have not seen in Delhi. So, and our plan is to dot the entire city with this bus so that, you can experience a commoner can experience what he cannot otherwise maybe have to, maybe he cannot, get that experience otherwise.
Yeah.
So, I think making of the bus was a great deal because nothing like this has been made before in India or in Delhi, at least. That's what I'm aware of. So Tejas being the architect, he's made the bus from scratch. So from the basic structure, it's an actual real bus made from scratch and not something that has been modified first floor above.
Right.
So I think that's an answer he'll be able to give you better because
Yes. Tejas, do you want to take that?
Yes. Yeah, I'll take that question. I actually remember the day when we sat with our partner and he gave us the idea that we should try and make it like a double-decker bus, and then taking off an image from Google and then taking it onto the software that us architects normally use, trying to get the structure sorted. And then the first day where in the factory where the bus was created, it was just a bunch of metal lying on the floor with some markings done on it. And then slowly, it took us about 6 months where each metal pipe was bent into shape and each conduit was placed, and then the upper level floor was added. It was quite a tedious process because even for the person who made it for us, it was like a first time experience, and there were a lot of hurdles in the way. And they didn't only stop there with the structure, but getting the whole restaurant put into it, getting the seats, getting the kitchen operational in such a small, tight space. It was truly, like I said earlier, it was a nightmare. But today, when we look back at it, we feel like it was all worth it, yes.
No, it must be worth it because Arushi, you're a lawyer, Tejas, you're an architect. Arushi, how difficult or easy was it to make this transition? Was this something you always wanted to do?
So, by qualification, as I told you, I'm a lawyer and I've done my regular job. It's not even a 9 to 5. Lawyers by profession, they have all day, all 7 days of the week working, right? So getting tired of that and always having a dream to do something new, something innovative, to get something of a mixed concept. So that is what I think drove me to think of such an idea. And of course, with the help of my brother and my family and our very helpful partners who are already established in this industry, we've got it on the road, and we hope from this stage onwards, it's only onwards and upwards.
I hope so too, and wishing you all the best. Tejas, was it easy for you to make this transition? Was this something you always wanted to do?
It was something that I always wanted to do. Being an architect, I was working for Delhi Development Authority. And during my tenure there, we started this project, and I was trying to spread my feet into both the boards, trying to get both the things sorted. But then there came a day when I just felt like I needed to go full into it, and then I had to quit my job. It was a tough decision, but at that time, it did seem like the logical thing to do because the bus was starting to get ready, and there was a requirement for a person to be there the whole time and sort things out on a daily basis. Yes.
Right.
So for me, it was logical to quit my job and to start doing this.
To make that transition. Okay. Arushi, so what next for the Food Bus of India? What are your plans now? Are you planning a couple of more buses which will be showing up in Delhi? What's the plan now? How do you look at scaling this up now?
Right. So we have huge plans, and in the next 2 months, we're coming up with the next 2 buses. They will be placed at Kamla Nagar and Lajpat Nagar. So we will be covering majorly Central Delhi, North Delhi, and South Delhi. And probably by the mid of next year, we will come up with a number of more buses. So we will actually, as I said, that's our plan, to dot the entire city with this red fancy double-decker so that everybody can have the experience and cherish, and just not have a dining experience, but cherish that memory for the next few months till they visit again.
Right. Tejas, do you want to add to that? Any special plans that you have that your contribution is going to be to Food Bus of India?
I wouldn't call it a plan. It's more of a dream where people symbolize the bus as a place where they can get a unique dining experience on a comfortable space right at the street, where they don't have to worry about other things and the weather in Delhi and the hygiene cleanliness. So we want the bus to become a symbol where anybody spots the bus, so they know that yes, they can go in and sit and have a good meal and not worry about other things.
Right.
That's the major dream. Yes.
Last question, and either of you can take it. There are lots of people, lots of young entrepreneurs, or lots of professionals who have dreams like yours. Your advice to them, how did you take the leap of faith, and what would you like to tell them?
I think I'd answer half of that question by saying that get a plan in your head, work on it, don't quit your job just as soon as you've got that idea. Work on it, think about it, plan it. And once you are almost nearing a proper concept, you need to take that leap of faith. It's whether you do it or you don't do it, it's all on you.
Tejas?
Yeah, I'd also like to add that if you're passionate enough about it, then the moment will present itself to you where you'll actually feel like, yes, my time is better spent if I do something for my own good and quit my day job and do something like that. I believe the opportunity presents itself, and when you're ready, then you know it.
All right. Thank you so much, Arushi. Thank you so much, Tejas, for joining us today and having a conversation with us. Our audience, you can find the Food Bus of India in Delhi. Right now, they're only at Rajendra Place, but they're also coming up with buses in Kamla Nagar and also in Lajpat Nagar very, very soon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.